Love's Passion, written by Matthew A. Basil. We fade up on a city skyline. Olivia and Fear sit perched on a rooftop.
I feel this bird's eye view of your city is very appropriate for our meetings. We can pick out anything in your environment that troubles you, Olivia.
Glad I could deliver.
I'm also pleased to see you've made a full recovery.
From my illness or the fountain nonsense with you and all those other emotions?
Both.
I'm not sure I'd call it a full recovery. A teenager doesn't easily get over finding out emotions are real people and that she has got a fountain inside her head. I'm still pretty sure I'm losing my mind.
You are not. You have simply gained a new perspective.
Goody for me.
We all float on the river of life.
You've explained that to me enough. Let's not go for the 20th time.
I don't torment you anymore, do I?
No, you've kept up that end of the bargain, which is something, I guess.
Those other emotions will no longer go after you for the fountain. They have learned it is futile. And now that I no longer try to force fears on you quite as much, life should be yours to seize.
That's the problem. I'm not really sure what to do with life.
How can you speak such a thing when Tara has provided so much for you?
Hey, if I wanted to be on blast, I could go downstairs and talk to my mother.
My apologies. I'm still learning how to speak directly to a human.
Alrighty then. Good talk. I guess that's enough bonding for tonight. I'm gonna go bury myself in my room before my mom gets too far into her drinking.
And what will you do in your room, may I ask?
I don't know. TikTok, YouTube, whatever it takes to keep my mom off my back and passes the time.
It does not sound like you find this very rewarding.
That's what I was trying to tell you. It's not rewarding. It's just what I do.
Couldn't you talk with others of your kind?
Why don't you go talk to others of your kind?
There has never been a need to talk to others of my kind, unless they need something fixed.
What about your imaginary friend?
Luna is not imaginary.
Whatever. I've never been very popular either, okay? Maybe that's why I hang around with you so much. Anyway, catch you later.
I wish so much more for her.
If it isn't my old coworker, Fear. I had heard whispers that you had had a revelation, and I was hoping I could run into you so I could investigate it for myself.
Hello there, Doubt. It's been quite a while.
So, tell me, did you have this revelation?
I felt I did, but now I question it.
Ooh, may I inquire as to its nature?
Well, when sorrow, resentment, anger, and guilt revolted and tried to alter the fountain of life, I discovered it existed within the mind of a human. I believe this meant my role was to show those that swim, fly, crawl, walk, and slither how special they are, instead of merely protecting them from danger. Alas, though, life on Terra still is not all I feel it could be, especially the humans.
Humans are a peculiar lot. They can be so sure of themselves and what they know, although I suppose emotions can as well. Perhaps your revelation was off in some capacity.
You were not there. It has to be me. I still must be doing something wrong.
Well, if the reaction of the life forms on Terra to your new behavior deviates from your hypothesis, then it would make sense to change your behavior once more. The inhabitants of Terra are what they are, after all.
Perhaps there is some truth in what you speak. I know I do need to understand the life on Terra more acutely. To that end, I've been having regular conversations with a human who recently acquired the ability to see and hear us emotions. However, she seems to deflect my attempts to encourage her to reach her full potential.
There is a human who can see us. Preposterous. You will have to show me proof.
She is not for display. You will have to take me for my word. She prefers to ignore the other emotions and pretends she does not see them. She directly interacts with only me for the most part.
Well, that's even more far-fetched. Why would you alone be the only one she confers with?
I am unsure of an answer. I suppose I've not given it all that much consideration, but we do have quite a long history.
That is not a reason. Us emotions are companions to all beings throughout most of, if not all of their lives.
She is different.
Then what makes her different from all the others?
I can't explain it. She just is.
Well, if you can't explain it, then it doesn't exist.
Do you truly believe that?
Of course I do. That is why all who tread upon Terra are gifted with discernment from me. Without knowing something, then how can you act upon it? Take your little revelation, for instance. It was how you interpreted certain events based upon your own personal background and attributes. But all of those things are specific to just you. So, how can you take this as concrete truth? That is why you're finding the results of your actions wanting. You tested a theory, it was debunked. So, you have to go back to the drawing board. You haven't given enough considerations to all the variables. Come up with a new theory.
I suppose you're right.
Of course, I'm right. Getting to the infallible universal truths is what I do. I still don't believe you about that human, though.
Of her existence, I am sure, whether you believe me or not. I am less sure of her current situation. So I do appreciate your counsel, though I think I will take some solitude and ponder on it.
Just as I thought. Fear still agonizes over the plight of all life, feeling duty-bound alone to shepherd those who inhabit Terra. No true change has occurred. One cannot change who they are, after all. I've seen it proven time and time again. So that must be fact. This is why I had to speak with Fear myself, to ascertain if that is still a fact. And with that being taken care of, I can now move on to other deliberations.
We now go to a forest. Luna is there, flanked by two wolves. One is all white and the other all black. She's petting them and giving them sweet talk. Fear walks onto the stage, lost in thought, and doesn't even notice Luna and the wolves at first.
Hello again, Fear.
Luna, what are you doing here?
Ah, so you do remember me.
After our last encounter, there was no way I could forget.
Still, I had hoped you'd be more happy to see me.
I'm pleased to see you. I'm just a bit distracted.
Are you ever not?
Are those wolves with you?
The wolf kind and I have always had a special bond. I often visit with them. You know the humans have a saying, and inside everyone is a white wolf and a black wolf constantly fighting one another.
I have heard of that saying. The one that wins is the wolf which is fed the most.
Yeah, that's what they say. But my thought always was, why not stop the conflict?
Luna tears a piece of food into two pieces in her hands and then gives each wolf a piece.
So what troubles you now, Fear?
It's just that since last we met, I have tried to hold more trust for those in my care. But I've still found them with struggles. I'm starting to question if I perhaps need to reconsider my actions.
To go back to the old ways?
No, the old ways did not work. But the new ways do not seem to be ideal either. I thought I'd finally found the answers I'd been groping for my whole existence, but what am I still missing?
Patience.
Pardon?
You're missing patience. It's kind of a big part of trust.
Take Olivia. You saw her stand up to the other emotions, yet she has done little since to seize her potential. She seems to be falling into old ways.
She's not the only one. Look, just let it be for a little while. Besides, there's a more pressing concern.
What do you mean?
I'm concerned because I haven't heard from Solus in a while. I checked with Tara and she suggested that I find you and the two of us could investigate.
Solus's light still shines. does it not?
It's just different somehow. When I try to speak to him, I get nothing.
Well, if Terra wishes me to converse with Solus, then I will find him and do so.
I'm coming too.
That's fine with me.
It better be.
Here, I have been trying to reach you. Why are you always so hard to find?
What do you want, love? If it's about Solus, I already know, and Luna is going to help me investigate.
Solus? I have no idea what you're talking about. Not that that's all a new experience for me. I need your help. Selfishness is running amok.
You and selfishness have always been like oil and water. I have more important matters to address than another one of your petty squabbles.
We do not squabble. Selfishness is a short-sighted and arrogant fool who constantly tries to undermine me. But this time, things have gotten completely out of hand.
Then put it back in hand. Wasn't it not too long ago you and Pleasure made very clear the two of you could handle all things in regard to life on Terra without me?
That's just it. Pleasure has sided with selfishness. It's all coming undone.
I have a mission from Terra that needs my attention. I cannot help you at this time.
Oh, yes, that's Fear, my fellow capital emotion, all right. Always running to do Terra's bidding. If Terra says jump, you ask how high. You kiss her ass so much, I'm surprised you haven't found your head up it.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, dear. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Selfishness has even begun to affect us emotions.
You do have to admit that putting Terra in front of a request is a good way to get Fear to do something.
Are you saying you lied to me about Terra requesting my assistance with regard to Solus?
I don't lie. I'm simply pointing out that you tend to not think for yourself when Terra is involved.
I am not like you. I am an emotion, and a capital emotion at that. My entire reason for being is to serve Terra and those that exist on her.
Sounds like you have no will of your own.
I never claimed that I did.
Then, as a capital emotion, you must help your fellow capital emotion, which is namely me. Oh my. See, I'm being selfish again. This needs to stop.
You should help your fellow emotion, Fear.
Love and selfishness get into conflict all the time. I will speak with Solus about his behavior before addressing their argument.
I'm thinking it would probably be best to do those things in reverse.
And why is that?
Because selfishness and pleasure are heading towards us as we speak.
So, love, you went running to Fear. I would have thought you would have gone directly to Terra rather than Terra's favorite.
I am not Terra's favorite, selfishness.
According to her, Fear is right. I did go to Terra about your meddling. She said that she has no favorites and that we would have to work it out ourselves.
If Terra decreed you work this out yourselves, then do so and leave me out of it. I must find Solus.
You will not find him.
Do not make presumptions about my capabilities.
Perish the thought. I know you will not find him, because upon my request he has gone into a deep slumber and given charge of his light over to me.
What? No emotion can dictate the light of Solus. He's a celestial being.
I'm a celestial being, and yet here I am interacting with all you fine emotions.
We interact, but I do not control you.
Without a doubt.
Well, Fear, it seems after you had your little revelation and eased your hold on life, it opened a doorway. No longer under your tyranny, those who dwell on Terra could start looking out for themselves, which gave me an idea. What if every individual had exactly everything they needed, tailored just for them?
Existence does not work in such a way.
Doesn't it? After all, aren't all who crawl, swim, fly, walk, and slither trying to find exactly what they need? Sure, love will try to fool you that you need others, but in the end, others are more distraction than necessity.
The community of life is just the way of things.
No, I don't think so, my friend. When those that breathe feel you bearing down on them, they only seek the comfort of another because they are at a loss. But when they simply look out for themselves, unadulterated by your influence, they are more purely themselves. And isn't that the meaning of being an individual?
Technically, individual means not dividable.
And she proves my point. When love brings individuals together, that leads to a division of attention. And an individual, as just stated, is one that cannot be divided. Do you follow me, Fear?
I think so. And you say Terra is aware of your agreement with Solus?
I did not run it by her beforehand, but I'm under the impression she is aware of these developments.
Then I suppose the matter is settled. Still, it doesn't feel right somehow.
That's just because you have spent too much time looking at things from love's point of view.
So you're saying I was worthless. Okay, then why was I made a capital emotion?
This sounds familiar.
Because of Fear's zealousness, there needed to be a counter. But now that our friend has abated, you are no longer enhancing life, but hindering it.
Now it sounds especially familiar.
Pleasure. Do you really agree with what selfishness is saying? That I no longer have a place in existence?
I'm sorry, dear, but as long as everybody's having a good time.
I must say, I find it difficult to understand the reasoning for Solus to go along with this if there is not merit to it.
You know good old Solus is a reasonable entity. He normally gives his energy freely to all living beings, but he gives it equally without any discernment for the unique individual. I simply made him see that the time came for myself to oversee the distribution of his light energy. After all, determining the different needs of the soul is my whole purpose.
So, to confirm, he willingly took slumber and gave you the reins.
He did.
And you, Pleasure, as a capital emotion, are okay with selfishness, usurping Solus, and myself like this.
What can I say? It's a new day dawning. Or night, if that's your preference. Newness is how we keep the gratification fresh. Ooh, TikTok.
Will it really be fresh for long if the light energy from Solus is transmuted to exactly what everyone desires?
They are free to change things up at their discretion. That is their right as sovereigns of themselves.
Freedom and fun are all one needs.
Do you agree with what Pleasure just said, Fear, or will you stand against us?
I'm unsure.
What do you mean you're unsure?
Well, I had learned that the fear I gave humanity was to make them know their full, unique self, their beauty and potential. I tried to give them room to see it themselves, but they still seemed to stumble. Perhaps this is a way for them to better understand it and express it.
I must say, I am impressed with you, Fear. Perhaps you have changed and now see the full scope of what life can be.
This is an outrage. I will stop you.
Try your best, love, but I guarantee you will be unable. The drive of the individual is the most powerful force in existence. Isn't that right, Fear?
It has been indicated to me that that is the case.
Can we now move on from this confrontation to more enjoyable endeavors?
Certainly. There is much for us to still accomplish. I bid you all adieu.
Toodles!
You can't let this happen.
We should see how things go before making any decisions. You know, life has been volatile on Terra recently. Perhaps changes that are more radical than we feel comfortable with are needed. Terra and Solus seem willing to give it a try, and we would do well to follow suit, I believe.
You're doing this to get back at me.
I'm doing only what I feel is best for Terra and the life we are responsible for, as I always have and will always do.
I cannot believe that you are letting this happen to me. There's that darn selfish attitude again. Well, if you won't help me, I will find someone who can. You're surely no longer the fear that I once knew.
She is correct that you have changed.
Have I?
Sure. Even though you only recently remember meeting me, I've known you for quite some time. The old fear would take control of the situation and plow through it in your own manner. You actually seemed like you gave careful thought to the argument.
I did. Doubt and I had a conversation not too long ago. In the exchange, I realized I must be open to new things to see what works best.
See, that is a big change for you. And you think that selfishness plan just might work?
If Solus agreed to it, and Terra will not stop it, then who am I to prevent it from being attempted?
Makes sense to me.
It would seem our mission has come to a close.
It was a heck of a lot easier than the last one.
Take care till our paths cross again.
You don't have to leave, you know. Just because we aren't on some kind of errand for Terra doesn't mean that we can't spend time together.
But what would we do?
We don't have to do anything. We can just be together.
And what is the purpose in that?
Seriously? This is what I meant by you always following Terra's orders. You take nothing for yourself, to just be and savor something.
That is not my lot. I exist to serve Terra, to serve life on her. That is my entire reason for being, and every action I do must adhere to it.
You serve others well, but you don't serve yourself well.
I have no need to serve myself.
There is nothing that you desire?
Only to fulfill my role more appropriately.
There's a bigger picture out there, you know?
Why do you think I strive so hard? It is because I see the bigger picture.
Not entirely if your job is all you focus on. What about your relationship with Olivia?
That is to assist a greater purpose in understanding the life forms I will watch over.
She means nothing more to you then?
I care for all the beings on Terra, if that is what you were driving at.
Then what do you mean to her?
I'm a means for her to realize her full potential. You know this. You were there when I realized it.
I was. I thought you had realized more.
I am not sure I understand.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We all got to do our thing. That's what selfishness just said, isn't it? We all have our individual needs. As long as you enjoy your quest, who am I to stand in your way?
It brings me great satisfaction, if that's what you mean.
Sure. If that does it for you, have at it.
Do you take satisfaction in the time with your wolves?
I do. And I will.
I'm glad then.
Fear walks off. Luna goes back to petting her wolves. We are now in between the folds of time and space. Selfishness and pleasure stroll onto the stage.
I must admit, selfishness. I doubted your idea at first.
Why would you doubt me, pleasure?
It seemed too simple. I mean, why didn't I just come up with this idea myself?
It had to be the right time and the right circumstances. The changes in fear and in the world have set the stage for everyone to finally live the lives they were destined to always savor.
See, that's what I always tried to tell everyone. Life is for personal amusement.
It is not as simple as that, my dear friend. Those that dwell in the flow of life too often overlook themselves or get mixed up in what they need. Simple enjoyment can even be a distraction for what their true longings are. I have streamlined it for them so they no longer have to grope.
And all that was needed was just to get fear to step out of the way.
All others need to step out of the way of each other so they can focus on themselves. That is where love proved to be a hindrance. Self-love is the highest calling of life, for without that, where would anyone be?
Speaking of my old friend Love, hello again.
I am not speaking to you, Pleasure.
I thought you would not relent so easily.
What you are doing is wrong, and I am putting a halt to it.
And how do you hope to stop me if the mighty fear chooses not to clash against my will?
We all know you're not a fighter, dear. You're a lover.
Face facts. Times have changed. You have fallen off your mighty high horse, and it is time for a new emotion to show life forms the way.
You aren't showing them a way to live. You're driving them apart with your ideas. I have brought doubt with me to prove you wrong.
Woohoo! Have you now? Okay. Doubt. Why should those that dwell on Terra not concern themselves with themselves and pursue exactly what they want?
The incalculable amount of different organisms on Terra lends reliable evidence that simply concerning self with oneself would be quite the dubious task.
Love's task up until now was to bring people together, was it not?
Yes, that was her duty.
And why was that needed?
Because everyone needs others in their life.
You brought doubt to make your case on your behalf, so let doubt answer.
Well, life needs other life to survive.
So you agree that others are needed, but only as a means of self-care.
Yes, the drive to survive is first and foremost.
What about taking a moment of joy for oneself?
That is also self-serving. So, if life always boils down to what is best for the individual, and if they could get what is best for themselves without others, then why are others needed?
Well, I suppose if one could satisfy all needs of the individual, then the individual is then without needs, including that of others.
Exactly. And I have found a way to achieve that.
While having fun, of course.
If we have found a better way to cater to the life we are charged with overseeing, then why stick to the old ways?
I can't say.
What? You're giving up that easily?
It's not a matter of giving up. One cannot best logic. One must simply follow it to its inevitable conclusions.
Why have you always been against me, selfishness?
I have never been against you. I have simply always been for the unencumbered, individualistic pursuit.
Pleasure suddenly stumbles and seems to collapse.
Pleasure? What is wrong with you?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just felt very weak.
Weak? Why would you all of a sudden feel?
Love faints and selfishness catches her.
What is going on here? Are you doing this, selfishness?
No, my intentions were never to harm anyone, but to lift life on Terra up to its unfettered realization.
Oh, it is very peculiar that two of the capital motions seem so distressed so soon after you have instituted such radical changes.
Doubt also faints.
Oh, what did you do to us all?
Pleasure completely loses consciousness.
I didn't do anything. I don't know what is happening. But it appears to be happening to myself as well.
Selfishness also stumbles to the ground. We are now back to the city skyline with Olivia and Fear sitting together on a rooftop.
So you feel no different.
Oh, maybe it's It's just been a lot of changes for me to deal with,
Can I do anything to assist you?
I don't need anyone to do anything. I'm taking care of myself, staying out of my mom's way. I still know I can handle anything if that's what you're worried about.
I just want to make sure you're doing all you feel you can do.
I'm doing all I feel I need to do.
Luna tells me I need more patience. Perhaps she's correct.
That's your imaginary friend, right?
How many times do I have to keep telling you she's not imaginary? She's the moon.
You can tell me that as many times as you want. It's not going to make you sound any less crazy.
Oh, you can see us emotions, yet you find it absurd that celestial bodies have souls.
I don't really believe in souls, but I mean, I think it makes more sense for planets to have souls than us humans.
Why do you say that?
Because we're also screwed up.
Don't say such things. All of life is beautiful.
Then why does the world seem so confusing?
I'm not sure. That's precisely why I'm trying to help sort it out.
I don't think there is any sorting it out. I think it's just the way it is.
Do you wish to discontinue our talks then?
Well, if we did, I wouldn't have anyone to talk to.
Do you aspire to talk to others?
I don't think I've ever aspired for anything. It's just, I don't fit in with other people. It doesn't help that we've moved to the city and everything has changed. That's why I'll just keep doing my own thing, even if that includes talking to an emotion.
Well, it seems that can be something worthy to aspire to.
Sure, why not? All right, I'm heading inside. I'll see you later.
Certainly.
After Olivia leaves, Tara weakly stumbles onto the stage. Fear jumps up to catch her.
Tara, what is wrong? What has happened to you?
Your fellow emotions are falling into an inert state. Therefore, without them, I falter.
Why is this thing happening to my fellow emotions and not me?
It will happen to you as well, eventually. But as I have told you before, you are unique.
What can I do to restore you? What is the cause of this malady?
It's called apathetic lock.
Luna, your sister can barely lift herself. What is this apathetic lock you speak of?
It's when the flow of life unravels.
It's like a plague that destroys you emotions.
But emotions cannot die.
No, but they can lie dormant.
Why is something that disturbs us having any effect on you then?
Since the dawn of creation, I took you and your fellow emotions on as a part of me.
Are you also affected by this, Luna?
No, only my sister. But my wolves are attuned to Terra, and they told me about it, which is why I searched for both of you.
I have never heard of this apathetic lock. How do you both know of such things?
We celestial bodies know many things, my child.
We don't just talk to emotions, you know.
And what brought this apathetic lock on?
Just taking a stab in the dark here, but it might be the new game plan that selfishness has for all of life.
I did not fathom that it might have this effect. I was unaware that this was even possible.
No one is blaming you.
I am. I should have stopped such a thing.
It is not your fault, my dear.
Well, I will put a halt to this immediately and confront selfishness.
Selfishness has become overcome with this as well. Once an apathetic lock is triggered, it is difficult to reverse.
Nevertheless, I will find a remedy.
You will soon be overcome by it yourself.
Until my last, I will search for a way to rectify this.
To my knowledge, only a severe empathetic jolt can ever hope to reverse its effects.
No offense, but I don't know if you will be capable of such a thing.
I don't believe I will be, but I do know someone who might. Just don't think this individual will be too agreeable to me.
I'm going with you.
No, stay and watch over Tara. I will.
Fear stumbles to the ground and Luna catches him.
You already grow too weak to do this by yourself. Let my sister accompany you.
What about you, Tara?
It's a lovely view tonight. I will just sit here and take it in.
Guess that means you're stuck with me since you don't argue with my sister.
I didn't. Come, let us hurry.
Luna helps Fear walk off stage. We are now in a void between the folds of time and space. Fear slowly walks onto the stage, being helped by Luna.
Let us stop here so you can rest.
I cannot afford to take time to compose myself. I must save Tara and all emotions.
You won't be able to do that if you fall victim to the apathetic lock, like all of the others. What makes you sure that this plan will work anyway?
I'm not sure, but it's the best idea I was able to come up with. You could have told me that the actions of selfishness would result in this.
I didn't know that they would. Had I mentioned it, would that have changed your actions?
Surely.
Then I'm sorry I let you down.
You have not let me down. I didn't mean to accuse you of that. I suppose I am most disappointed in myself, but I shouldn't drag you along with me.
Yes, I know you prefer to do things on your own.
Your company is welcomed by me. Do you question that?
I know you. I know how much you put on yourself, how dedicated you are to life and to Tara. It's what makes you, you.
I've not been very me lately. It seems I've been faltering in my endeavors.
You're just learning. It's a process. Cut yourself some slack.
Someone such as myself can't afford its slack, as you put it.
Why not?
Too much responsibility. You see what is happening now, do you not?
Your only responsibility is to do the best you can at any given moment.
That is precisely what I'm upset with. I have not done my best.
Yes, you have.
And now you presume to know me better than myself.
I just have a different angle that I'm trying to share. But if you prefer, I don't need to share it. You can always go elsewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do not wish to argue with you.
Sure doesn't seem that way.
I'm just not comfortable with the situation.
Which is why I'm here. But I'm not going to fight you to stay here.
You agree on some things, after all.
Do you feel ready to continue?
I have no choice.
Yes, you do. That's what makes you special.
I do not comprehend your meaning.
I know you don't.
Luna once again helps Fear walk along slowly.
How will we know when we find sorrow?
You won't. I'll announce myself.
Hello, old friend.
I do not feel friend is applicable here.
Well, as I suspected, you also have not yet fallen victim to the apathetic lock.
And how fortunate am I? All the eons of trying to absorb the anguish of Terra's inhabitants gives me greater time to watch everything unravel. But I assure you, I will only be me for a short while longer, if that gives you any satisfaction.
Quite the contrary.
These are strange times to see the mighty Fear propped up by his new little friend.
I volunteered to help him. I would say that it's nice to see you again, Sorrow, but I always tell the truth.
Such bitter words for someone who sought me.
I feel you are capable of saving us. Terra believes a large, empathetic impact delivered to this force that has gripped all emotions could restore us.
And why would I do such a thing?
Because it's the right thing to do.
What is right, after all? What is wrong for that matter? Only what is not right for me can be wrong.
Left unchecked, this thing will destroy us emotions. So you destroy yourself with your inaction.
Then so be it. As you well remember, I tried to end my hardships by changing life. Now life
has changed of its own accord and ended my hardships for me.
What about the life forms who rely on us?
I have given nearly all of myself to try and take away others' pain. Now I give the last of myself to take away my own.
You mustn't let the fact that you gave too much of yourself cause you to be foolish.
I pay no attention to you. You are not an emotion.
But I am a living being. How can you say something is best for you that will end you?
Because an end is what I truly long for. Rest is my salvation, and the only rest for me is to allow all of this to fall away.
Sorrow, you don't get to decide the fates of others.
Agreed. No one gets to decide the fate of others, which is why I am deciding my fate for myself.
And by doing so, dooming all to your will. You're not my favorite individual, but deep down, I believe you care what happens to the community. I just think you're confused.
What Luna says is right. I've been there. Still am in many ways. You strive so hard to do what you feel is right, you become lost and exasperated. But letting it all come to an end cannot be the answer.
It is mine.
And although I feel I have let us all down, I feel I've let you down the most.
You didn't let me down, Fear. You just never helped me up.
What someone becomes is their own responsibility, not another's. Now, come on, Fear. Let's get out of here.
Luna helps Fear walk off stage, and Sorrow walks off in the opposite direction. A howling wind rises as Fear and Luna walk back on stage. Luna sets Fear down, who has lost consciousness.
Fear, wake up. Hang in there with me.
Fear rouses.
Thank you, Luna. It's getting too severe. I'm not sure how much longer I can remain.
Then what do we do?
There's nothing more for you to do. I will try to combat this by using my abilities. Perhaps an emotional impact of great magnitude will turn the tide of the storm. I have been known to have quite an impact on the creatures that roam on Terra.
Save your strength. It will not work.
Sorrow enters the stage in obvious discomfort.
She is right, even though I loathe to admit it.
What are you doing here, Sorrow? Do you return to even stop me from trying to save us? I see you as well now are feeling the full effects of what transpires.
Why stop your efforts when they are all in vain? You cannot save us, but I may be able to save all of you.
I thought you wanted an end to your hardships, an end to everything.
Are you saying I actually changed your mind?
Don't flatter yourself. I simply decided to put my responsibilities where they truly lay. From what you told me, this storm can be ended by a substantial dose of pain. I am all pain. So let it take all of me instead of all of you. Or perhaps I will take all of it.
Are you talking self-sacrifice? Emotions cannot die. We do not end.
My comrade, what are we doing now but ending? So let us find our own ends.
Sorrow outstretches her arms and hands as Luna drags Fear away from Sorrow. Sorrow becomes illuminated as the wind rises. The stage goes dark, and the howling wind subsides. Sorrow has disappeared, and Fear rouses to stand with Luna as they look around them.
I'm not sure how, but Sorrow actually pulled it off.
Sorrow, you did it? That was brilliant, but where are you? You don't think...
Emotions never die. You'll see Sorrow again, I'm sure.
Well, I hope that you are correct.
I do too. I know you used to work together a lot.
Well, we did both strive for the betterment of creation.
You're both still moving in that direction, just taking different paths. I'm very glad to see you're looking a whole lot better, though.
Indeed, I am. In addition to sorrow, I have you to thank for it.
I'm just helping a friend.
I know.
Hopefully, this means that all the other emotions have also made full recoveries.
You go check on them, and I will reconvene with you later.
What? Where are you going?
Well, it was wrong of me to ignore the conflict between love and selfishness. It has caused far too much damage for far too long.
So, what are you going to do?
I'm not sure, but I know Olivia is the only one who can help me figure it out.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you, friend.
A friend you are. And I suppose that will have to be enough.
Luna exits the stage. We are once again in the city with Olivia alone on the rooftop when Fear enters frantically.
What's happening, Fear?
How do you feel, Olivia? Are you doing okay?
I don't know. I guess I'm fine. Why? Should I be concerned about something? We're not battling other emotions on a quest again, are we? Because it's really only fun once.
No, but I do need to go back inside your mind.
Do you know how bizarre that sounds?
I can't say that I do.
Why do you need to go back into my mind?
I need to speak with curiosity.
Who?
You remember the being that hangs around the fountain of life?
No. And why does it always come back to the stupid fountain with you?
Come now, Olivia. I need your assistance. It is important that I settle things between love and selfishness before they create another apathetic lock, because I don't know if sorrow can save us again.
You know, it's times like these that I really question the value of our relationship.
Must everything that I request be difficult with you?
Must everything you request be weird and creepy?
What do I do that's weird and creepy?
I don't know. How about asking to go inside my head so you can talk to your bruh?
What's a bruh? I didn't even realize our relationship was off-putting for you.
Look, it's not that I mind our talks. You can just be sometimes a lot to handle. You're definitely extra.
I don't follow.
I've told you I'm not used to being around people, and not only are you not human, but you're also kind of an unusual person.
I know, our differences are quite drastic,
That's putting it mildly.
but I thought we decided to learn from each other, to experience new things.
Certainly am experiencing a lot of new lately.
Look, I would not ask this of you if I didn't think it was important.
Fine, let's do this before I come to my senses.
You're sure?
My life is pretty messed up. What have I got to lose at this point?
We suddenly find ourselves inside Olivia's mind with a fountain off to the side.
Ah, and there is the fountain.
What is your obsession with that thing?
It is the core of life.
If you say so. Where's this curiosity you're so desperate to talk with?
I am not sure.
I see, this was a well thought out plan.
Here, I see our paths have crossed again. How delightful.
I'm hoping this is curiosity. I hate to think I have more than one freak living in my head.
And I also see the young woman has expanded her sight. Marvelous.
Last time we met, you helped me see the error in my ways. Now I'm hoping you can help me find a way to fix the error of others.
One never needs fixing, only to see more. And only oneself can open their own eyes wider.
Does this character always talk this way?
I'm afraid so. Very well then, curiosity. Can you show me how to open the eyes of my brethren, selfishness and love? Or rather, show them how to open their own eyes?
Oh, selfishness and love. What a lovely duo.
They are the exact opposite of a lovely duo. They are at each other's throats such as never before, and it's nearly wiped us all out.
So, they see too much of their own deficits in each other and not enough of their own virtues?
I feel you may have lost.
You hung in longer than me.
Tell me, young woman, how did you expand your sight?
You mean, how did I start seeing you cringy peeps? I'm not really sure. First, I saw Fear in the hospital when I thought for sure I was going to die. We started to get to know each other, and eventually I just started seeing everyone.
How curious that it was your relationship with Fear that made you see more of the world.
It's one way of putting it.
And you, Fear, credit me with your insights, but was it not this young woman that led us to cross paths?
I suppose you have a point, but I am unsure as to what this has to do with settling the dispute between selfishness and love.
Maybe the question is not how to settle it, but why it exists in the first place?
Because they are opposites?
And what are opposites but two pieces of a whole?
Part of the bigger picture.
That's what we're all looking at, aren't we?
Come, Olivia. I have what I need.
Really? That gave you what you needed?
I will explain it to you later. First, I must ensure no more damage is done by the conflict of selfishness and love. Thank you once more, curiosity.
Thank yous are always unnecessary, for we help ourselves at all times.
Is your imaginary friend this cringe too?
She's not. Oh, just come along.
Fear and Olivia leave the stage. We find ourselves in a void between the folds of time and space. Selfishness and pleasure are on stage, and selfishness is trying to fix something.
I don't know about this selfishness. What if we end up going back to sleep? It is so hard to have a good time when one's not conscious. Although, I'm sure I could find ways.
Take comfort, pleasure. I suspect that what happened to us has little to do with my attempts to tailor the energy of solace. Most likely it was something that love cooked up to turn the other emotions against us.
Selfishness? You almost ruined us all!
Speaking of the devil.
This has gone far enough. I will not let you endanger us all with your ignorance. If it's a fight you want, then it is a fight you will get.
Let us settle this once and for all.
I couldn't agree more.
Whoa, looks like we have quite a tussle brewing.
Oh, you have recruited enforcers. I should have known you wouldn't fight your own battles.
I'm not here to quarrel, but to settle the strife between you both. However, first, you must release Solus before any more damage is done.
What happened to us was an anomaly, an adjustment of the new era, proven by the fact that it has passed. My logic is still sound.
The only reason we all still stand is because sorrow played a part in reversing the effects of your tampering.
Ha! I knew you were the cause, and now you must be held accountable.
Actually, love, it is you who hold others accountable, which is why selfishness is needed.
So you see things my way, then?
No, I see things clearly. At least I do now.
Make sense, you fool. Who do you come here to help?
I come to help you, selfishness, release your fear.
I'm not afraid of you.
I know you're not, but love terrifies you.
Oh, please. Love is a darling. It couldn't even startle anyone.
I am not you, Fear. My job is bringing people together. You're the one that makes people afraid.
Correct. I show people what they can overcome. I thought I was the only one, but I was wrong.
This is a trick of yours, isn't it? You're all conspiring against me.
No trick. No trick. Love's role is not to bring people together for protection, nor for enjoyment. The community of life exists, so the individual can suffer it to know themselves fully.
They can know themselves fully without love's interference.
They cannot, which is the flaw in your plan. That's the one thing you can't give them.
Are you sure recent events haven't finally caused you to lose it, Fear? I always did tell you to relax more.
Trust me, I've learned much recently. Emotions can be fearful too, and I'm here to absolve it between both of you, for the two of you were made to balance each other.
What a laugh. Selfishness and I couldn't be more different.
What are opposites but two parts to the whole picture? Without selfishness, people would lose themselves and the precious uniqueness that they offer. But without you, love, people would never know the precious uniqueness they have to offer.
I see you kids have finally settled your squabble.
Solus, how are you up and about? I didn't release you from your slumber.
No one can release anybody, for no one can truly hold someone without their agreement. It is simply a choice to bend. You want to try out your little experiment, so I humored you. I figured it was about time you and Love stopped your bickering.
But we were nearly destroyed.
I had faith. Everyone always has faith in me, so I find it best to return it. It's good policy. So do you two finally see the value in each other?
You are all confusing me with your rhetoric to try and persuade me to defer to love.
No, they are trying to get me to see things your way.
All you are being asked is to see yourselves. Without knowing others, one can't fully know thyself. And without knowing thyself, one can't truly know others.
Dulles takes the hands of love and selfishness and places them in one another. Selfishness and love gaze at their hands and then at each other and quickly drop them.
I still don't see how I'm scary. I'm delightful.
That bewilders me.
You bewilder me.
A friend once taught me that by understanding what frightens you, you can allow yourself to transcend it.
Perhaps I can try explaining why you are so intimidating, if you would like.
I suppose we could try it, but only if you listen to why I think you drive people apart.
I don't drive people apart. I just wish them not to be overrun by others because they are so beautiful as they are.
You see the beauty in the living?
Yes, which is why I don't want it buried or marred.
Neither do I. I want them to share it, for it's so lovely.
Perhaps we should take a walk and try to understand each other a little better.
As long as you're not trying to trick me.
As long as you don't pull the capital emotion card and try to override me.
I don't do that.
I think selfishness is asking for a softer touch. You and I are very powerful at times, too powerful.
I suppose. I'm all about doing things together. Come along. I mean, let us take a walk with one another.
Love and selfishness go off stage together.
Okay, that certainly took an unexpected turn.
They just needed to understand their own trepidations better.
Which is most definitely your department. Still, selfishness and love, a pairing? I would not have believed if I didn't just see that for myself. I hope those two do more than just work together, though. That would be so tedious.
If you two will excuse me, I need to get going. I have some people I need to check on.
Go. You have done well.
So, Solus, do you think now that all's peaceful again, we can get back to the most important part of existence?
And what, may I ask, is that?
Why, pleasure, of course. What else?
My friend, you have no idea how right you are. But I have a feeling you will in time.
Solace and Pleasure walk off stage. Back on the city rooftop, Fear sits by his lonesomeness. Olivia walks out, surprised to see him.
Oh, Fear, I didn't know you were up here. You could have told me.
Oh, don't worry. I'm just taking in the city life. I figured you'd come up eventually.
I'm that predictable.
Either that, or I'm getting to know you better.
So, what did you want to discuss?
I didn't want to discuss anything. We could just sit here and be with each other.
Perfect. Not talking. Finally.
This is nice.
Yeah. It actually is. I guess. I know I give you a hard time, but as much as I hate to admit it, we're fam.
There is no shared DNA between us, I assure you.
And believe me, I'm thankful for that. I'm just trying to say we make a good pair, is all.
It pleases me that you feel that way. I do as well. Ever since you heard me at that hospital, my existence has become more rewarding.
Sure, you don't mean aggravating.
I'm sure.
Oh, you know what I forgot? I joined this group and our first meetup is in 15 minutes.
Oh, I thought you did not interact with other humans.
I figured I would give it another try. If I've been able to handle you, I should be able to handle anyone.
I suppose so.
Sorry to cut our time short.
Do not worry about it. There is someone I've been meaning to talk with anyway. I can go find them now.
Your imaginary pal?
How did you know?
Friends know these things.
Do they now?
Good luck.
You as well.
Olivia and Fear both leave the stage. We are now in a forest. Fear walks onto the stage and looks around and does not notice Luna, who appears on the stage.
If you are looking for me, you don't have to try so hard.
Luna, I'm glad I found you. I just wanted to say that amidst everything, I was glad to have you around.
Coming from you, that's a very endearing thing to say.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to being around others.
I thought you were an emotion. Isn't that your entire existence? Spending time with other life?
They usually do not want me around.
And you're saying I do?
I thought you appreciated our companionship.
I'm kidding with you, Fear. So, did you fix the whole selfishness love dilemma?
They now have a better understanding of the bigger picture.
Good to hear. It's nice when that happens. Besides, I'd hate to have to carry your sorry butt around again. That's another joke, in case you couldn't tell.
I am improving.
You don't have to get better. Just be you.
I'm not fully sure I know who that is anymore.
It's a process.
That it is. Well, I just wanted to make sure you knew you were always welcome to accompany me.
Must it always be a crisis for you to get up the courage to stand my companionship?
I just assumed only a crisis would compel those to stand my own company. What other reason is there to be around someone such as myself?
Do you really need me to explain it to you?
Yes, I'm afraid you do. I do.
Fine. I'll spell it out if I must. I like the person that you are, and I want to get to know you better and experience things with you.
How could you like who I am? I'm a confused catastrophe of an emotion.
Yeah, that's about right.
Luna walks up to Fear, and they kiss softly.
What can I possibly offer someone like you?
Nothing aside from yourself.
Luna extends her hand, and Fear hesitantly takes it, and they walk off stage together. The end. You have just watched a Victims and Villains production starring Gabe Castro as Love,
Hi, I'm Gabe Castro. I am one half of the Ghouls Next Door. So be sure to check out our show where we talk spooky stuff and check out our new film, Jolly Butcher, which is a horror comedy.
Valerie Stack Dodge as Luna,
Hi, actress, voice artist, and playwright. And thanks for watching.
Cam Smith as Fear,
Hey, I don't do anything like all these other fine folks. I'm just the editor for Victims and Villains, which some people will tell you is a very important job, and it is, I guess, make everybody else sound good. But thanks for taking the time to watch.
Steven Zitko as Pleasure,
Oh my God, it's me. Hi, I'm Steven Sicko. I'm a New York area actor and camera operator and a whole bunch of other things. And you should probably follow this thing on Twitter. It's called Crab Channel. I don't know who that guy is, but maybe you might like him. All right, thanks. Bye.
Kirk Corley as Doubt,
Hello there. I appreciate the chance to get to act in this wonderful production. If you want to hang out with me for more voice acting fun, I'm doing a playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles at twitch.tv/cardwiz, where I'll be playing that tonight at 10 o'clock Central Time.
Logan Shirley as Selfishness,
Hello. Thank you for coming. I'm Logan Shirley. I'm a writer, director, actor. I don't have anything to plug. I'm just happy to be here.
Justin Moe as Solus,
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this production. My name is Justin. I am a actor. I am a filmmaker and also a gamer. I'm on YouTube as Laughing Raptor Gaming, and I also have a second YouTube channel, one of two halves, two brothers, The Mobro Show on YouTube. Check it out.
Jessica Appledorn as Curiosity,
Hi, I'm Jess Appledorn, Cat's best friend. So definitely go check out Ghouls Next Door on wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube, and Twitch. Bye.
Heather Moe as Tara and Olivia,
Hi, I go by Keyline Pixie with an underscore afterwards on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm primarily an actress, a streamer, a mom, and a cosplayer. So come check me out.
Kat Cushion as Sorrow, as well as producer of this show.
Hi, I'm Kat. I am half of the Ghouls Next Door, so definitely check that out. I also have an artist Instagram at Kat Draws Stuff and Things if you want cool art. Thanks.
And me, Doug Seidel, as narrator. You can find me at Justice Productions on most social media platforms.